You guys have DM'd me these questions, and the answer is yes. I can suggest the most commonly asked DBMS questions. Hi everyone, Subham here. I am currently working as a data engineer at IBM. In this video, I will be covering the most commonly asked DBMS and SQL question in freshers interview, assuming you have a basic understanding of DBMS. So first, the basic questions which they ask, like what is DBMS, you need to just define it, and then they might ask you questions like what are the use cases. Then you can say like data storage and management, data retrieval, transaction management, data security, data backup and recovery, data integrity, and all these points. This will show that you know that how DBMS is used in day-to-day life by companies. Then comes the main points, like which are asked, like the different keys in a table, like primary key, foreign key, unique key, composite key, candidate key. These are the keys which are asked. You can see the definition and take screenshots if you want. And in this, the most important questions are primary key and candidate key. After that, they might ask you tricky questions like what happens if you try to insert a value in a foreign key column that doesn't exist in the reference primary key column. This is a very tricky question to understand your depth, like how much you know about these keys, how they are function. So in this, you need to say like it will result in referential integrity constant violation and the insert operation will fail. If you say this, they will understand that you know the connection between primary key and foreign key. After that, they might ask you like a follow-up question like what are the differences between primary key and foreign key. Then you need to define them, like how they uniquely identify and how they establish relationship and what are the uniqueness of it, uses of it. So you can define that. And they might also ask you difference between primary key and unique key. Like they will ask you the first questions like what is primary key, what is unique key, and then they will ask what is the difference between primary key and unique key. That time you need to say that in primary key it's unique and not null, whereas in unique keys must be unique but null may be allowed. So this is one of the most important difference between primary key and unique key. After that, they will be asking you like a tricky question. Like every primary key is a super key, but not every super key is a primary key. Why? So you need to define primary key and super key, and you need to explain the difference. Like you need to say like super keys might include extra columns, which is not necessary to make it a primary key. So primary key is like only one column. You need to say that. After that, they will be asking you what is normalization. So you need not go to depth like how to convert data from first normal form to second to third. You just need to know the definition, like what is first normal form, what is second normal form, what is third normal form, what is Boy's code normal form, BCNF. BCNF, they ask mostly like what is BCNF. So you need to prepare that. And after that, they will be asking you the acid property, atomicity, consistency, isolation, durability. So I would suggest that you can take this screenshot. I have explained it very easily. And it is one of the most asked question. Like if someone is asking you a DBMS question, they might ask you acid property, and it's like 80 to 90% chances are there. So they will be then asking you what are the different type of SQL commands, like data definition language, create, alter, drop, truncate, rename. Also, keep in mind that they might ask you the syntax of it. So you can give a generic syntax, or you can give an example which can add a plus point to it. So you can just explain that create, alter, drop, truncate, rename. These are the data definition language, and what are the different type of SQL commands. Then you can define that DTL, DML, and all this. Like here, data manipulation language done with an example. You can follow this, like select, insert, update, delete. And data control language like DCL, which is data control language, grant and revoke. What are the uses of grant and revoke? They can ask you. And after that, TCL, commit, rollback, they can ask you questions like what is the use of rollback, and can we use commit and rollback, and what is the use of save point. So they can ask, and then they might go to the SQL part. Like in this, there are some very important most asked questions. What is the difference between drop, delete, and truncate? So you can take a screenshot of this. This is helpful. Like drop would delete the entire table or database, and in delete it will remove the rows from the table, and truncate will just keep the column header but will delete all the rows. This delete works with conditions, whereas truncate and drop, you can just write drop table and then the table name and it will be dropped. Truncate also same thing, all the rows will be deleted, only the column names will be there. So this is a very good question they ask. And then after that, they will be asking you aggregate functions, like what are they, like in SQL, what are the aggregate functions which we use. You can write that we use count, then we have sum, then we have average, and then we have minimum, maximum, and group concat. This, and after that they will be asking you questions from joins, like type of joins, inner join, outer join, left join, right join. All this they will be asking you, and then they might ask you the difference between union and union all. Then you need to define that union, remove duplicate rows, whereas union all, like just do the union and give everything, like duplicates are also present in that. And they can ask you difference between join and union, like what are the difference between join and union. Then you need to explain what are the uses of join and what are the uses of union. This will be very much like tricky question, and you need to keep this in mind, like how join is different from union, and what are the functionalities of join and what are the functionalities of union. I'm not explaining this, you know already. So yeah, that's all. In the next video, I will be covering the most commonly asked SQL queries. If you have any question about placement, feel free to DM me on LinkedIn or Instagram. The link are in the description. And if you have made it this far, please consider subscribing and sharing with your friends.